Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Padyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. अस्मद् गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम।
नमस्कारम।
नमस्कार। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्धदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्ख्यपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थितदद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। So namaste once again everyone. So we were seeing this shloka, Esha te bihita sankhye buddhir yoge tvimam shruno buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. So here Bhagavan Krishna is telling, O Arjuna, this knowledge imparted to you till now deals with Sankhya. So he said Sankhya means Atma, that is the Atma Jnana. So he says, further says, now you listen to this following teaching, which deals with yoga. And here the reference to yoga is Karma Yoga. And he says, endowed with this knowledge, you will be able to give up all the bondage of karma. This was the essence of the sloka. And in the last class, towards the end, we were trying to understand that when it is said that knowledge will destroy ignorance or ajnana, how can karma be destroyed by knowledge? As said in this sloka, karma bandham prahasyasi. And I briefly explained that with the destruction of ignorance, the doership is destroyed. Because how does karma play out? Karma plays out because we have a doership. I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. The kartrutvam and bhoktritvam buddhi is what attracts all the karmas and the karma phalas to our account. And once with the knowledge of our true nature, aham asangaha, aham akarta, aham abhokta, this knowledge comes and settles in our system, the doership is destroyed. Once the doership is destroyed, all karmas will fall apart, including the karmas which we have been carrying forward from the previous janmas. For all this, of course, Shastra is the only pramana. We cannot prove all these things in any other manner. Therefore, both sannyasa and karma yoga play a role in the destruction of samsara. But it is very important that we understand the difference between the two. Otherwise, what will happen? It will be said, as I said, there are various paths to moksha. In fact, I have read Swami Vivekananda's some text. I don't know how authentic it is. He talks about 4 paths to moksha: jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, karma yoga, and raja yoga or hatha yoga, which is not in conformity with the teachings of the Upanishads. And there are many people who become popular by saying that there are as many paths to moksha as there are people. Everybody can choose their own path to moksha. And addressing this lack of clarity in understanding, Shankara in his Bhashyam says that because of the grace of Ishvara, you will find yourself with a purified mind, the teaching, and also a qualified teacher. This much we saw in the last class. And because of all these things, you gain the knowledge. He says, being endowed with this karma yoga, Ishvara prasada nimitta jnana praptehe is what he uses in the Bhashyam. By gaining the knowledge by the grace of the Lord, you will get out of the bondage of karma. Therefore, a life of karma yoga, mind you, karma yoga is not an action. Karma yoga is a lifestyle, a disciplined lifestyle. So such a lifestyle, a life of karma yoga, prepares the mind, and knowledge releases one from bondage. But at some places we will find, like for example in this shloka itself, it is said that through karma yoga one is released from bondage. How do we understand such a statement? We need to understand such a statement as a glorification of karma yoga. Because karma yoga plays a very significant role in the release of bondage, in attaining moksha. Very significant role. Without karma yoga, you cannot go to jnana yoga at all. And therefore, karma yoga can be stated to be an indirect means for moksha. Ultimately, it is the knowledge and understanding of aham, I am Brahman, aham Brahmasmi. That is what is going to deliver moksha. There is no other way. And this knowledge also, as Adi Shankara says, we get by Lord's grace, Ishvara Prasada. And what is that Ishvara Prasada? It is in the form of our getting a guru. Very, very important. We are going to have Guru Purnima in the next 4 days. And not only guru, a guru who is well trained, he is in the parampara, he knows the Shastra. So we get access to the teaching also. And all this Ishvara Prasada is delivered to us by God's grace, and to understand what is being taught, it requires a type of mind, a specific type of mind, a prepared mind. And of course, with all these things, we must always remember that we require conducive circumstances to learn. No obstacles should be there, and that also is delivered by Ishvara Prasada only, by God's grace. So God's grace, the Ishvara Prasada, acts in 4 ways. First, we get a guru, a qualified guru. We get access to Shastra through the guru. Ishvara Prasada blesses us with the mind through Karma Yoga, a prepared mind. And finally, the God's grace showers on us to remove all the obstacles which may come and prevent us from gaining this knowledge. Because all of us have experienced any undertaking that we undertake rather, there can be number of obstacles. In fact, by the time people come to this teaching, they already would have met with a lot of obstructions in life and would have experienced a lot of pain also. Many times it is that those obstacles and the pain, they become the nimitta for people to come for this teaching. But even when they come, the obstructions continue. So therefore, Ishvara's grace is required for the obstructions also to be taken care of. Puja Swamiji says, that is why one has to be prayerful always. It is the prayerful attitude which will help us throughout our life. So Karma Yoga makes everything possible so that we gain the knowledge which destroys the bondage of karma. So now, how many yogas are there for moksha? There is only one yoga, which is Jnana Yoga. But to pursue Jnana Yoga, there are 2 lifestyles, which Bhagavan will talk about. The 2 lifestyles are, the first lifestyle is Karma Yoga, living the life of a Karma Yogi. And the second lifestyle is Sannyasa, living the life of a renunciate. This is the vision of the Veda. And it is the only vision that can account for the entire Shastra. The Karma Kanda, if practiced with the right attitude, is all about Karma Yoga only, lifestyle of Karma Yoga. And Jnana Kanda is all about renunciation, Viveka, Vairagya. So these are the 2 lifestyles one needs to pursue. There is an option. Someone straight away from Brahmacharya ashrama can go to Sannyasa ashrama. He will also get the knowledge of the Shastras, the self-knowledge. The other lifestyle is, you from Brahmacharya ashrama, you enter into Grihastha ashrama, then you go to Vanaprastha ashrama, and then eventually you come to Sannyasa. That is the Karma Yoga lifestyle. So both these visions, both these approaches completely covers Vedas, and one needs to understand, when we talk of Vedas, what is Veda is all about. And both lifestyles imply knowledge. And that knowledge is what? That knowledge is moksha. About that, there is no doubt whatsoever. Therefore, to gain that knowledge, as I said, we require a properly prepared mind, for which we require Bhagavan's grace, and therefore we invoke the Lord's grace so that you have everything ready for knowledge. And this is the only way to remove samsara or bondage. So we'll now see the next sloka, 40th sloka. Neha bhikramana shoste pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Excuse me. So Anvaya is iha na asti abhikrama nashaha na vidyate pratyavayaha swalpamapi asya dharmasya anushtanam trayate mahataf bhayat. Another very profound sloka. Iha. Iha means in this field, in this karma yoga. Abhikrama nashaha na asti. There is no failure. Pratyavayaha na vidyate. There is no adverse result. Swalpam api, even a little bit. Asya dharmasya anushtanam. The practice of this discipline, mahataha bhayat, from the great fear of samsara, trayate, protects one. So here Bhagavan is saying, in this field of karma yoga, there is no question of any failure. There is no question of any adverse result. And even if we practice this discipline a little bit also, even that also protects one from the great fear of samsara. So again, Bhagavan Krishna is continuing to glorify karma yoga. We must remember, he has still not defined what karma yoga is, but he is glorifying it. This is what we normally do, whenever in our marriages and all that, arranged marriages I am talking about. Even before the boy and girl meet each other, or even the families meet each other and all, they will glorify both the boy and the girl. Oh, the girl is so accomplished. She has got so many things and all. Studied. A boy also, they will glorify, earns very well placed, very nice boy, very loving, caring. All that glorification takes place even though they have not seen the boy and the girl. Similarly, here also, before explaining what karma yoga is, Bhagavan is glorifying karma yoga. So what exactly is karma yoga, we will be seeing later. But to put it in a nutshell, as I have already told you, karma yoga is a way of life in which we grow internally more. That we have to be very, very carefully understand. We grow internally more and we give importance to the inner growth more than the external accomplishments. This is what karma yoga's aim is, goal is. Because the basic philosophy of Gita is the peace of mind does not depend upon what one has. On the other hand, peace of mind depends upon what one is. This is the basic philosophy of Gita. And our general misconception is what? That our happiness, our security, etc. depend upon what we have, what our possessions are. And we think that the more we have, the more secure we are. And it is where Gita steps in and says that is the biggest misconception everyone has. In fact, if we see people who have more money, more power, they are the ones who actually require maximum security. The greater the person, the wealthier the person, they will have more number of black cats, commandos and all trying to protect them. So we think that peace and security is directly proportional to what we have. Krishna says that is the biggest myth. Peace and security depends upon what type of personality you enjoy, what type of inner growth you enjoy. And in our culture, we find that some of the greatest people enjoyed the greatest happiness. Adi Shankara says in the Bhagawad, Sura Mandira Tarumula Nivasaha, Shaya Bhutala Majinam Vasaha, Sarva Parigraha Bhogatyagaha, Kasya Sukhamna Karoti Viragaha. Sura Mandira Tarumula Nivasaha, the one who sleeps on the floor of a temple or Tarumulam under a tree, Shaya Bhutala, for whom the bare floor is the bed, Majinam Vasaha, and who wears the bare minimum to cover himself. Sarva Parigraha Bhogatyaga, who has given up all accumulation or possession, is free from all desires and wants. Then the sloka asks, Kasya Sukhamna Karoti Viraga, how will he not get happiness from this renunciation? A very profound sloka because it explains what renunciation is all about. So saints and sages, they do not possess anything, but still they have got the maximum security, maximum peace, and maximum happiness. And therefore, Karma Yoga is a lifestyle in which we focus more on inner growth, and comparatively, the outer accomplishments are subservient to the inner growth. Not that all of us, we ignore, we need to, excuse me, we need to ignore the external possessions. We respect money, we respect possessions. And of course, as long as we are alive, our ego is always acting, and therefore we respect the status also. All of us, we expect to be respected by others. There's no harm in that. But we must have a very measured approach towards that. When there is a comparison between inner growth and external accomplishment, a karma yogi focuses more on inner growth. And if he is asked to choose one of these two, he will choose inner growth as compared to external accomplishments. And such a lifestyle is called karma yoga. Now let's see the word meanings. Here in this field, in this karma yoga, I think we have already seen the word meanings, right? Okay, so I'm going. So here Krishna says, Iha abhikrama nashaha. In this karma yoga, there is nothing called failure. Abhikrama indicates the beginning of any undertaking. So nasha means destruction. So there is no destruction of whatever is undertaken in the as karma yoga practice. Because we have seen from our experience Taking the example of a farmer, let us say, he can begin a cultivation, but he may not be able to reap the harvest. Water may not be available, there may be no rain, or pests come and destroy the crop. Anything can happen between the time of sowing the seeds and reaping the harvest. There may be floods or even too much rain at the wrong time. All this we have in India, we have experienced all these things. So all these things can destroy whatever cultivation that has been undertaken. Because that is karma, not karma yoga. So contrasting with that, here Bhagavan Krishna says with reference to karma yoga, there is no destruction for this undertaking. Abhikrama nashaha na asti. Because karma always attracts numerous obstacles. But karma yoga has none. It is purely a prayer. And if you do all your karmas with the attitude, with a prayerful attitude, that itself becomes karma yoga. So prayer itself is the result. Also the means for practicing karma yoga. To the extent we are able to pray, our antakarana is taken care of. Prayers are meant only for purification of our mind. That is the only, the most important thing that prayers deliver. When we pray for the purification of the mind, the prayer itself produces the result. And it is not that today you pray, you will get a result later on. The result is immediate. So, on the one hand, we pray for Chitta Shuddhi. The Chitta Shuddhi, what we achieve, leads us to more prayers. And that is how we are able to develop a prayerful attitude in everything that we do. A karma yogi never feels that he has failed in his life. Because even though from a worldly angle he might be thought to be a failure. Maybe he has failed in business or lost money or something like that, lost his job. The world may say he is a failure, but a karma yogi is going to look from the standpoint of the lessons, the valid lessons he learned from such experiences. And since he feels that lessons are very valid for inner growth, he will consider them as success. That's why karma yogi has no failure. Every so-called laukika failure actually helps us in our inner growth. And therefore, a karma yogi does not know failure at all. For him, even a worldly failure in the worldly affairs is actually a success from a karma yoga point of view. Abhikrama nashaha. Abhikrama nashaha, as I said, means failure. So he doesn't know any failure. Then Adi Shankara says, Pratyavayo na vidyate. Not Adi Shankara, Bhagavan Krishna says. Pratyavaya, as I said, means adverse result. And as I said, from material angle, any action can have positive result or an adverse result. When I do business, if I get profit, it is a positive result. If I lose money, it's an adverse result. So when there is some disease, I take to medicine. If the disease is cured, it is positive result. But sometimes that disease is not cured. Instead, I may get some other disease. because of the side effect of the medicines that I take. I took medicine for headache and now I got stomachache also. That is called pratyavaya. So from material angle, actions have positive or negative result. But for a spiritual person, action will have only positive result. Because as I said, a karma yogi learns from any experience. A karma yogi will positively interpret any experience and grow. If people throw stones at him, he will use the stones to build castles. Of course, inner castles consisting of spiritual growth. Not literally, don't imagine that he will have a big castle. Therefore, in Karma Yoga, Pratyavaya na vidyate. And here, in this context, we have to understand the word Pratyavaya has got two meanings. Any undertaking that we have not completed due to our own omission has a Pratyavaya dosha, a defect. The desired result is not achieved because the action. For example, in the case I just gave you the example of medicine. A prescribed treatment, for example, is incomplete or inadequate. Suppose you start a treatment and do it for 1 or 2 days, then discontinue it. Like many people, they do it with all these antibiotics. Antibiotics, one needs to take a full course, whether it is 5 days course or 7 days or 10 days, I don't know exactly, but full course needs to be taken, then only they will deliver the result. But as you start taking the antibiotics, you will feel better from whatever medical condition that you have. Many people will say, okay, I have now become all right. They will stop the antibiotics. They discontinue. And this creates problem because the treatment must be applied for a prescribed period of time for it to work. Only after the prescribed period, it should be discontinued. To do otherwise will cause pratyavaya, because you will not get the desired result. And the second meaning is not doing it at the right time is also a defect. If the treatment is not taken at the right time, your condition may become complicated, yielding results that you did not expect at all, and that may be undesirable. That is also pratyavaya is there. So first is not doing what is prescribed. Second is not doing it the correct time, at the right time, what is to be done. Both these things, they lead to pratyavaya dosha. So what we have to understand here, when in the context of karma yoga, Bhagavan is saying that in the karma yoga, there is no question of doing how much you have to do. There is no question of doing what time you have to do it and all that. So far as karma is concerned, pure karma, sakama karma, karma done for achievement of dharma, artha, kama, purusharthas, they have to be done strictly according to the prescriptions. But when that same karmas are converted into karma yoga with a prayerful attitude as nishkama karma, there will be no pratyavaya dosha. And not only that, swalpam api asya dharmasya anushtanam. Bhagavan says, if a karma yogi practices karma yoga even to a limited extent, to that extent he will get proportional result. Whereas in the case of material result, in the case of doing, as I said, for dharma, artha and kama, a karma done, an action can produce a result only when it is completed. And this is the normal rule. isn't it? Even our experience shows that. For example, if I am told that to get groundwater, I will need to dig 500 feet. Suppose I dig 50 feet, will I get any water? No. I will have to dig 500 feet to get water. So it is only when the task is completed that we get the result. Unless I complete the job, I will not get the result. Therefore, from a material angle, a karma will produce the result only when it is completed. But in the case of karma yoga, whether the action is completed or not, inner growth will take place irrespective. If the action is done 1/4, whether it is done half, whether it is done 3/4, a karma yogi will get proportional benefit. Swami Paramarthananda quotes a very beautiful example which I will share with you. Then this will become very clear. Suppose a person wants to chant Vishnu Sahasranam and somebody asks him what is the purpose. Then he says, see, I consulted some astrologer, and for some problem that I am facing in my life, the astrologer has advised that I should chant Vishnu Sahasranama 108 times. And that too, I should chant that Vishnu Sahasranama in the morning after getting up early morning, taking bath, without eating any food or even drinking a cup of coffee. I must chant that Vishnu Sahasranama. And you must actually offer such and such thing as Naivedyam, and also give a dakshina to some priest. If you do all these things, you will get the result. Because he is going to chant the Vishnu Sahasranama as a sakama karma meant for some material result. Maybe his daughter is not getting married, or maybe he wants to buy a house, whatever it is. He has consulted an astrologer and he has given him this advice. Now, in this case, he will have to strictly follow all the prescriptions for him to get the result. And suppose there is another person is chanting the same Vishnu Sahasranama, and we ask, what is the purpose that you are chanting? Is it for gaining some material benefits or some promotion that you are expecting in the office and all that? He says, no. I am not expecting any material benefit out of it. I am purely chanting for the sake of my inner growth, my chitta shuddhi. Then the difference will be, in the case of the first person, he will get the result only when he does the chanting as many times as prescribed. Suppose the person was supposed to chant 108 times and he has chanted 11 times. Till he chants the 108th time, he will not get any benefit. And suppose it was prescribed that this type of Naivedyam should be offered after the chanting, and he does not offer, he offers a different Naivedyam for whatever reason, he will not get any result. He should not think that I am okay with whatever result this Naivedyam brings. He cannot say that I am okay with whatever number of times, even though I am not able to chant 108, I have done, say, 90 times the Vishnu Sahasranama, I will be happy to accept 90 by 108 result of that chanting. No, it will not happen. Either you complete it and get the full result, or you do not complete it and get no result at all. So in the case of material result, only when you complete the job, you will get the phalam. Whereas when you are chanting Vishnu Sahasranama for inner growth, you need not complete it. There is no restriction how many times you should chant. There is no restriction that you should offer Naivedya. There is no restriction that you should give some dakshina to some priest. Even forget full chanting of the 1,000 namas. Suppose someone has chanted only 10 slokas or say 200 namas. Whatever amount you chant, even if it is one nama, a karma yogi will get the result. Therefore, karma will produce the result only when it is completed. But in the case of karma yoga, even alpa, even a little bit that you do, it will produce the result. And therefore, he says, Swalpamapi asya dharmasya anushtanam. And not only that, when a person wants a material result, the chanting should be perfect. Swami Paramahansa says, if you use a Tamil book for Vishnu Sahasranamam, finished. He says, there in Tamil book, every letter is Advaita. Tamil is the best Advaita, he says. Ka, Kha, Ga, odd same. Only one Ka is there. There is no Dvaitam, there is no plurality there. So if you do not pronounce the letters properly, it could lead to totally different meaning. But at the end of the day, there will be no result. Not only no result, if it is wrongly chanted and conveys a wrong meaning, a wrong prayer, it could even lead to adverse result. Whereas when you are chanting for purification of the mind, even if you are chanting wrongly, the benefit is supposed to accrue. So in nutshell, what Krishna wants to say is, Sakama karma will have to be completed to produce the result. Nishkama karma or karma yoga for inner growth will give the result anyway, even swalpam asya dharmasya, swalpam api asya dharmasya, even a little bit of karma yoga, mahatah bhayat trayate, will protect from the great fear of samsara. So from that samsara, the fear of samsara. What is the fear of samsara? The fear of samsara is what we are doing, the pursuits of artha, kama and dharma. That is what the fear of samsara drives us to pursue these purusharthas. Security. So from that samsara, karma yoga will protect a person. And he says, therefore, Arjuna, he'll say later, here he doesn't say that, Arjuna, be a karma yogi. Therefore, once we have started living a life of karma yoga, we must understand it is a totally different journey. Till then, we were going in one direction as the water flows, as so to speak. Water will always flow from a higher level to a lower level. Now, once you have entered with sankalpa, from now onwards, I am going to practice karma yoga for chitta shuddhi. It is as though the water has reversed its flow. And it is flowing towards the mountain top instead of away from it. Through karma yoga, you have reversed the process. And once you have started the reverse process, there is nothing to stop you, no matter how many obstacles come. Because whatever you do, you are going to get the result. If you do not complete the journey in this lifetime, then you simply continue it in the next. And Gita assures that even if a person dies while pursuing the moksha marga, according to Krishna, it does not take much time at all to complete it. All these details we will see in the 6th chapter. And for us, a pratyaksha pramanam is there in the form of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. His birth, in this life was the last one, because there was something probably left from his previous births, some amount of prarabdha karma which he had to exhaust before he gets moksha. So it does not take much time at all to complete whatever is left. The very fact that you have reversed the process shows that you are well on your way, that the journey is all but over. By assuring us that the reversal itself is a great blessing, Gita praises Karma Yoga. And in the next verse, Krishna talks about one's understanding with reference to the clarity of the end in view. So I said, for people like us, these are all very profound slokas. What went by in terms of Atma Jnanam would not have had much impact on our understanding. That is because before we even go to that, we need to go through Karma Yoga. How many of us actually seriously do that? How many of us practice or perform our karmas with a prayerful attitude? Of course, we will discuss all about this later. So the next sloka we will see. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi ekeha kuru nandana bahushakaya nantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. The Anvaya is He Kuru Nandana Iha Eka Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhihi Hi Buddhayaha Avyavasayinam Bahushakacha Anantaha. He Kuru Nandana, O Arjuna, O descendant of the Kuru Vamsha, Iha, in this field, in this Karma Yoga, Eka, there is only one. Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhihi, clear understanding. He, however, Buddhayaha, the notions, the understandings, Avyavasayina, of those who are without any clarity, Bahushaka are many branched, Cha Anantaha and endless. O Arjuna, there is only one clear understanding in this field. However, the notions of those without clarity are many branched and endless. The whole vision of the Gita is that you are already free and you cannot be improved upon. Since you are already Parabrahma, what is stopping your liberation is your ignorance. Your ignorance that you are already a Parabrahma. And it is that knowledge alone that liberates you. And as we said, to gain that, first we should find a teacher and ask for that knowledge. In spite of the availability of such teaching, however, There is no guarantee that one will gain the knowledge, because the place where it must occur may not be ready. And which is the place where knowledge has to occur? Knowledge has to take place in the mind. Physically, one may be a very mature person, an adult, but this does not mean that the mind, the antakarana, is ready for the teaching. A certain maturity, a certain viveka is necessary. The teaching may be given for the asking, but the mind must be ready for it. You must be desire of the knowledge, desirous of the knowledge, not just out of curiosity, but out of a certain discrimination, a viveka on our part. Then only we can ask for the knowledge and hope to receive it. And the mind that is necessary in order to receive that knowledge is accomplished by karma yoga, as we have seen. Now, one of the problems that we face in our culture, unlike other cultures, is that when we read our scriptures, there are countless number of spiritual sadhanas prescribed. Other religions are all very simple. They just give a list of do's and don'ts, 10 commandments or something like that. Therefore, it appears to be very less complicated. Whereas, when you want to read our scriptures, it seems to be extremely complex. And scriptures themselves are so voluminous. The Vedas, Itihasas, Puranas, their commentaries, their sub-commentaries, and in all of them, various sadhanas are prescribed. In some place, they talk about puja. Some other place, they will talk about japa. Some place, they will talk about meditation. Some other place, they will talk about bhajans. And some other place, they will talk about pilgrimage. Thus, as many scriptures are there, so many sadhanas are there. And even when we see the various television programs also, there are so many bhakti channels or spiritual channels. In one channel, something maybe some program will go, some Prahlada Charitra will be there. Some other channel, some Dhruva Charitra will be there. And each one of them, we will find one sadhana. This is the sadhana Prahlada did. This is the sadhana Dhruva did. So you also do. And in some places, they will say that person did not do any sadhana, but he sang and he got liberation. Music itself gave him liberation. And they will give the example of some saint and say that he got moksha by singing. Another place, they will say you have to do dhyana for moksha. And there are people who will say, you don't need to do any sadhana. Do your swadharma, duty at home. One should do swadharma for moksha, and they will quote the story of Dharmavyadha. Dharmavyadha was a butcher. This story occurs in Mahabharata. How the butcher got liberation just by doing his swadharma of butchering. Therefore, you also do swadharma and you will also do moksha. Then another group will say, do Ashtanga Yoga and reach the state of Samadhi by raising the Kundalini from behind and attain moksha. Thus, a mind-boggling number of sadhanas are mentioned. And then some pravachakas are there. They make it very simple. He say you need not do anything complicated at all. Just utter Sri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame. It is equivalent to chanting Vishnu Sahasranama. Utter Ramanama only once, that is enough. You will get moksha. Now, obviously, when we go through all these things, we read all these things, we see all these things, we are totally confused. We do not know what we are supposed to do. And this confusion is not only in the print media, also carries forward this confusion. If you look at some columns, there is one column, in Times of India it used to come. I don't know whether it comes now. There different articles will come in that column, which is about spirituality and different approaches. Some tree, what
Speaking tree.
Speaking tree.
Speaking tree, correct.
If you read speaking tree continuously, you will be utterly confused. You will not be able to speak anything. Different people, different ideas will be given. Therefore, if we have to successfully pursue spirituality, we should have a clear idea of every sadhana and its role. If I do not know the role of each sadhana, or I do not know how to use it, there are high possibility that I will only abuse it. And here Krishna says, a karma yogi is one who has got a clear understanding about the sadhanas that he has to practice. And that clarity regarding the means and the ends, the sadhana and the sadhya, sadhana, sadhya, vishaya, nischaya, jnanam, that clarity regarding the means and ends a karma yogi has. And even when we talk of means and ends, it is not that there is one mean and then there's a final end. We have got intermediary ends as well as ultimate ends. For example, if a person wants to go to a place, let's say he wants to go to Delhi from Chennai. If he wants to go to Delhi, Delhi is the ultimate destination, ultimate end. But he will have to go to the airport or railway station. So, even though the ultimate destination may be Delhi, for the time being, the destination is the airport or the railway station, which is an intermediary end. Then to go to the railway station, he may have to use an auto or a taxi or whatever it is. He have to go to the auto stand or taxi stand, and that becomes another intermediary end. So first intermediary end is auto stand or taxi stand, next intermediary end is railway station or airport, ultimate end is New Delhi. And this person who wants to go to Delhi, that is his ultimate aim, he should know what is the immediate end and what is the ultimate end. He should know where he should go first to intermediate end to get a taxi or an auto. Then he should know that he should go to the railway station or airport. Then only I will go to Delhi. And that is called Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. Clarity regarding what I want in life. You ask many people what you want. Very few people have clear about what they want in their life. Most people will just scratch their head. They'll say, I don't know what I want. First I thought I want this. Now I'm not very sure whether I want this or I want that. So, even though Krishna does not say what is that correct understanding, clear understanding should be, but we should know, we know that from our other study of scriptures, the ultimate goal is freedom. Because whether we like it or not, everybody is instinctively working for freedom alone. Even a child that we watch, it holds on to the mother's hand until its legs are strong. The moment the legs are strong, the child will drop the mother and run away. The child wants freedom. Animals want freedom. just to try to leash. That animals want freedom is clearly, we can experience it when we see people taking their dogs for a walk in the morning on a leash. But here, of course, we are not talking about external freedom. We are talking about inner freedom. And that is what I should be happy with myself without depending upon any other human being or any material possessions. And the presence or absence of these, either the human being or his behavior, his or her behavior, or the material possessions, I am independent. Presence or absence is not going to cause any change in my inner happiness. Because the basic formula is what? Sarvam paravasham dukkham, sarvam atmavasham sukham. Dependence is sorrow, independence is happiness, and therefore my goal is freedom. And now the next question is, what is the means to get that freedom? That we will see the answer in the next class. Okay, I will stop here. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Dhanyavad Raghuji.
Thank you, Mama.
Namaskaram.
Thank you.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Guruji.
Thank you. Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Guruji.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Hope you're having a very good time there.
Yeah, absolutely. Only
Good,
thing is
good.
a little bit of COVID is still, after effects is still there.
After
so
effect, lingering.
some lingering. I think it will take some time because normally they say that the chest gets affected and then, the sore throat and all these things are slightly, very mild, of course. It doesn't.
Steam inhalation.
Yeah, steam inhalation and Vicks and all that, I will have to keep on doing it. So it's getting better, but then still
very
sometimes getting much better. It's not affecting any of my routine activities. Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, very good. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you very
Hari
much.
Om. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions, any doubts, any comments? So nobody seems to be having.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Namaste, Guruji. This is Vishal Satya here.
Yes, tell me, Vishal.
Guruji, I just have a doubt. So you were actually mentioning that there is a butcher, right? So he did his karma yoga properly and he even attained moksha. So
Swadharma, yeah, karma yoga, correct.
Yeah,
attained
so
moksha.
what would be his karma yoga and how would butchering in general terms is actually a very bad act. We are trying to harm a being just for our own benefit and our own selfishness, and we are trying to eat that, and that's for our own self benefit, right? We're not giving it back to the society in any way. So how come this act is actually turning into a karma yoga, and how is that benefiting him the overall process, Guruji? Can you please explain that to me?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a very big story. If I explain that, I will take another 1 hour. But you see, this is a story which is occurring in Mahabharata.
Okay.
And there is a Brahmin who is very proud that he has studied all the scriptures and things like that and all. And very briefly, I will touch upon. I'm not going into the full story. So he goes to one person and say, I'm a Brahmin, you must do this, you must do that, and all, you will get moksha. So in that process, he comes to this butcher and he tells him that you are doing all these things, exactly the words that you use, killing animals and all that kind of stuff. And the butcher tells him that I'm not doing it for my sake. I have a family. I do it as nishkama karma. So as a Nishkama Karma, whatever I do, it will not affect me. I will not get any papa of that. In fact, it turns out that he is teaching the Brahmin what the Shastras say.
That's right.
And actually, eventually, they're all like Lord Shiva's avatars in different, in order to make that Brahmin understand what the scriptures want to say. So the principle or the idea that we have to take away from here is, even butchering, which is normally a very, very a sinful act, need not be a sinful act, provided you do it with a correct attitude. I am doing this butchering because that is my swadharma, and I have to follow my swadharma, which is one of the sadhanas for my chitta shuddhi. So when I told about so many sadhanas are there, we have to be very careful to understand which sadhana we have to perform for what. Right? Now, if you want to maintain a good physique, right? Today's world, all this yoga day and all that we perform, by performing the yoga asanas, you will maintain a good health. You will not have this pain, that pain, knee pain, back pain, etc. But if you understand, your understanding is by doing yogasanas, you will get samadhi. That is a wrong understanding. So there are so many sadhanas are there. Our understanding should be very clear that what sadhanas will deliver what. Otherwise, what will happen? For some days, we will do some puja. Then we will find that this puja is not giving me what I want. We will stop that and we will do some meditation. In fact, this is not, I'm making up. I have seen people doing all. Somebody will come and tell you, you should do this particular sadhana. It is very good. And even forget this spiritual growth. Even when suppose we are sick, somebody will come and say, oh, what's the problem? No, see, I'm constantly having this headache since morning. Take this medicine. It will immediately cure you. They will say. And they will go away. Another person will come. You say, what is happening? Oh, I am having headaches. I have got a very best tailam, this oil. I will just bring it to you. You apply that oil, in 2 minutes your headache will go away. A third person will come. He will say, no, you don't need to do anything. All these things are side effects. Just sit, close your eyes, and take deep breath 10 times. Deep breathe in, breathe out. Your headache will go away. So when we consult 100 people, they will give 100 sadhanas for us to do, just for one headache. And the samsara is a headache we have been carrying life after life after life, birth after birth. So we must be very clear. We must have that vyavasayatmika buddhi. What will deliver what? And that is what Bhagavan Krishna says. I will explain all that. Bahushaka, Anantascha. So many branches, everybody will have their own formula for moksha. And that is why, as happening today, you listen to 4 different people. In fact, even in Vedanta, I have actually come across people advising me, you must listen to this lecture of this Swamiji. He talks very well. You must listen to this talk of this Swamiji. He talks very well. I asked them, they all talk about Vedanta, what is there in the Upanishads only, Yeah, they all talk that only. My assumption is the person who is telling me understands what is there in Upanishads. They all talk Vedanta. Then why should I listen to their talks? I'm not interested in listening to the talks. I am only interested in the knowledge that talk gives. That whether X Swami gives me, Y Swami gives me, Z Swami gives me. And as long as he is from the parampara, I want the knowledge only. I am not attached to a particular Swami. No, he talks with a lot of humor and all that. I said, I am not practicing Vedanta to become a stand-up comedian, right? To undertake some jokes from here and there and then use it. I'm not doing that. So this confusion is there. Even people who follow Vedanta or who think they are following Vedanta, you must be very clear in your mind what I want in my life, and at the cost of anything else, I am going to pursue. That is what is important. So whether it is butcher's story or there are actually that Brahmin goes, there are so many stories. Ultimately, he goes to a lady. And that he from outside, he is asking that lady to give him bhiksha. The lady says, I am serving my husband, you wait. And yeah, according to our Shastra, if a sannyasi or a Brahmin has come for bhiksha, you are not supposed to make him wait. It is a papa karma. But here the lady says, I am giving food to my husband. That is my swadharma. Giving bhiksha is secondary for me. Again, he curses that lady. That you have made me wait. That she comes and explains to him that this is I am doing this. This is my first duty. Giving you bhiksha is only the second duty. So actually, that whole story in Mahabharata is highlighting the glory of Swadharma as a means for, as a sadhana to be followed for Chitta Shuddhi. So Swadharma, following Swadharma, all these things which we talk about, all sadhanas, they all deliver only one thing, Chitta Shuddhi. If you understand that, you will not go behind 100 sadhanas. You will choose one sadhana which is suitable to you, to your personality. You will just do that one sadhana, that is enough. You don't need to take 100 medicines for one headache. If you know what cures you, take that medicine. That's all. So today's this thing is, unless we have that clarity in our thought, and the most important clarity, which of course I will talk in the next class, is what is your goal in life. If your goal is not moksha, then it doesn't matter. Because once, I'll tell you my own personal experience. For Chitta Shuddhi, one of the things that you need to watch very carefully is what kind of a food you eat. Krishna will tell in the later chapter what food they've got, what gunas rather.
Gunas.
Sattva guna, tamo guna, rajo guna, what food has got what type of guna. So a sannyasi or a people who are seriously in the spiritual path will avoid certain types of food. Too pungent food or very spicy food and all, they will avoid, because those type of foods, they cause a lot of mental disturbance, which an ordinary person will not understand, because for him, he has become so used to mental disturbance that he thinks mental disturbance is his natural state. If he is not mentally disturbed when he gets in the morning, he feels there's something wrong with him. Why I am not having any tension today? This is the thing that today people are asking. So people will avoid like onion and garlic, and also very spicy, this what is that, Acharya, the pickles and things like that. But other people in the family who are there, who don't understand this, they will start criticizing this fellow. I can't cook two different kinds of things, one without onion, one with, because they all want onion. Onion enhances the taste for them like anything. Then they will start, there will a big fight will start. This fellow wants peace of mind and he will have war of mind. Fighting every day that don't cook this with onion, don't cook this with garlic. And they may not remember this rule always. Somewhere they will put some onion. They say, today I have cooked it, so one day you eat, doesn't matter. All these problems will come and you will start compromising. One day you do that, they will say, that day you did it, no, today also you. So a spiritual seeker has to be very, very careful with his surroundings also. That he has to be a very good manager, how to manage all these things. So these sadhanas are there, and then along with the sadhanas, there are so many other lifestyle practices one needs to adopt. Finally, to get the Chitta Shuddhi, it is not just that you do Vittu Sahasranamam for Chitta Shuddhi, you will get it. It has to be supplemented by all other types of your own thinking in your mind. You have to keep on monitoring your thoughts. And whenever some wrong thoughts come, wrong in the sense that they are not conducive for your spiritual growth, you must do a separate sadhana for that, reminding yourself, I should not entertain this thought. When it comes, I should dismiss it immediately, get rid of it. And the way the Puja Swamiji says is, don't try to suppress the thoughts. It will come back with, vengeance. When the thought comes, allow it to pass. Don't dwell on that thought. Just allow it to pass. It will 2-3 times, it will try. If you are not giving, if you don't feed the thought, it will die on its own. Our problem is whatever thought comes, we start feeding the thought, and then it becomes a very big thought in our mind and occupies a lot of mind space. So one needs to understand all these things in order, as Karma Yoga is not easy. But at the same time, if your goal is fixed, becoming a Sachin Tendulkar is not easy, isn't it? But if his goal is fixed, you will sacrifice anything to become a Sachin Tendulkar. Yes. You will not eat any, even the athletes and all we have seen, they're very particular about the food that they eat. In fact, they are particular not only about what they should avoid, and they are particular to what they should eat also, rather how much they should eat also, right? If he's a wrestler and all that, he will eat a lot of food that will give him muscles and, fat and muscles. So if he's a runner, if he's an athlete who runs, he will be having that kind of a diet. Similarly, if our goal is moksha and Karma Yoga is the means, we have to understand what all is involved in Karma Yoga. And Bhagavan Krishna helps us in that. Like chapter after chapter, he will tell what we should do. We just have to follow it. Okay.
Thanks a lot, Ji. Thanks a lot for answering my question. I just have one more follow-up question. It might be very rudimentary, but I'll just speak it out. So here, let's say he's thinking that he's not doing for himself, and he's very clear on that. But let's say he eats part of what he butchers, Guruji. For example, if the same person who is butchering, he's doing it for the other people who he runs it as a business for the family to run. But also, let's say he consumes some of what he butchers. So would that fact actually violate his whole intention? And
consumes means it is also part of his Swadharma, only he has to maintain his body. See, consumption for purpose of maintenance of the body is not restricted even for sannyasis. Sannyasis are supposed to be people who should not do any karmas. They have given up all their karmas. But there are karmas. Adi Shankara talks in I think Gita. In Gita Bhashyam only. Minimum what they have to do to sustain those karmas, they will have to continue to do. Otherwise, eating is a karma, sleeping is a karma, all are karmas only. So you can't say that you have given up all karmas, so I will not do any of these things. I can't say. So for sustenance of the body, because Atma is residing in the body,
yes,
we have to pay attention to the body to the extent that we have a comfortable Atma living in a comfortable body.
yes.
So to that extent, whatever he needs to do, he does, and that will not attract any papam for him.
Okay.
I will give you an example. I've given this example in Tattva Bodha also. There is a doctor. He performs surgeries. Now, for any one of us, if we take a knife and stab somebody or cut somebody, it is a papa karma. We are doing it with the intention of hurting that person. Whereas the doctor does the same thing. He takes a scalpel, cuts the body, removes parts from that body. Some of them, of course, these days sell also. That's it. We're not getting to that. And then he stitches up. Will the doctor, because it is a violent act he has done, right? Will the doctor attract any papam? Answer is no. Because his intention is to save the life by doing this, not to destroy the life. Whereas for anybody else, it is destruction of the life which is the aim. So that will attract papa karma. Whereas for a doctor, the same act will not attract papa karma. So this is how we have to understand the connection between karma and our attitude. So karma yoga is not about the karmas. It is all about karmas done with what kind of an attitude you are doing. If I am even killing animals and I see that there are a lot of people who are hungry, they have not had any food and there is no other food available. I catch hold of some animals, kill them and cook them and feed these people. What is my intention? Is my intention killing that animal for my pleasure or for my entertainment? No. I am seeing so many people hungry. So I am feeding them. That is my intention. So the butcher's attitude is also the same thing. And we must not again say vegetarian, non-vegetarian. There are non-vegetarian. I mean, non-vegetarianism is not an unnatural thing. Right? For some people, non-vegetarian, for human beings, it may be unnatural, but then a lot of human beings eat non-vegetarian food rather. They kill animals, and even though so many tribals are there and all that, they are also humans rather. They also kill and eat and all that kind of thing. But if you kill for the sake of taste, oh, that chicken tastes very well, I will kill and eat it. That is a papa karma.
Papa karma.
That's a papa karma. Well, I've seen this thing. People say, oh, that's very tasty meat. The moment you attach a taste, that means you are doing it not for just survival, but you have gone beyond that. So there are so many, when we start discussing it, we can get into so many sub-discussions rather. But this is the whole thing. Overall, you have to understand about karma. Yeah? Any more questions?
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Hariji, yes, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Guruji, even Swami Vivekananda was not a pure vegetarian.
No, that's not.
Yeah, he used to, under certain conditions, he used to eat meat.
Yeah,
meat
he used to advise
fish.
also. He used to advise also people to eat meat. So, I mean, see, we don't know. I personally don't know too much about Swami Vivekananda. I have only read.
Yeah,
I mean, so I wouldn't like to get into that area, whether it's right or wrong and all that.
Yeah.
But from our point of view, our Guru is Swami Dayananda Saraswati, and I can only tell you what I have learned from him about all these things. Yeah.
Okay. I have a question about the Vyavasayigatmika Buddhi and also Avyavasayigatmika Buddhi. So here, when you say Vyavasayigatmika Buddhi, then that is intellect. It is with,
clear intellect.
Whereas when we are,
clear understanding, clear intellect.
There is no confusion there.
No confusion.
That whereas, confusion means that you know exactly what you want, and you know the dharmic thing. There is no compromise for a karma yogi.
Yeah.
Whereas in case of a worldly person, that is
not necessarily worldly person. Anybody who does not have clarity of the end and clarity of the means, even though he may be following a spiritual path, if he doesn't have clarity, he is also a Avyavasaya. He also comes under the definition of avyavasayina.
So, what I was trying to tell is that he is influenced more by the mind, emotions. Whereas in case of when you are talking about Vyasayigatmika Buddhi, then the intellect plays the key role.
Correct.
Is my understanding correct?
Your understanding is absolutely correct, because the intellect is the seat of decision.
Yeah.
Nishchayatmikam. No, the decision comes out of discrimination. So the intellect role is to nishchayatmaka, whereas the role of the mind is confusing.
Yeah, it runs
So
from
you
pillar
are
to
right, your
post.
understanding is right, that the avyavasayinam who are there, they are more depending upon their mind. Whereas a vyavasayatmika buddhi, one who he has already analyzed all these things and come to a final decision, a clear understanding. This is my goal and this is the means. Period. Nothing else matters to me. Whether I do puja, I don't do puja, doesn't matter to me. Whether I do japa, I don't do japa, doesn't matter to me. I have chosen a particular path for my karma yoga, for my chitta shuddhi. I will follow that path.
Yeah.
Let anybody, 100 people say do this, do that, and all. I am not bothered. This is the vyavasayatmika, clear understanding. Because everything, all these things deliver only that chitta shuddhi, right? Whether you do swadharma, chitta shuddhi delivers. So I say, I have chosen this particular path and I am going to stick to it. That is vyavasayatmika. All others who don't have this kind of a clear understanding and a clear goal set are all avyavasayatmika.
Clarity.
Clarity is not there.
So
and that is why when the clarity is not there, you say, let me try this now, let me try this now, let me try this now. You go on trying throughout your life without getting any result.
That's what I wanted to ask you next.
Yeah.
So this Bahushaka is connected with going from pillar to post. From pillar to post.
We will discuss it in the next class. In fact, I'll give you example what exactly Anantascha he says. What is Ananta? Anantas be endless there if you start looking at it, right? This Bahushaka is Ananta. That is endless branches. Everybody comes up with his own theory of what one should do. And Vyavasaya, the one who has got a Vyavasayatmika buddhi, he would have heard all these things, but he decides for himself, this is what I'm going to do, period. I'm not going to be influenced by anything else. And this I got, what I am planning to do has got the support of Shastra for me. Shastra says, and that's why the Shraddha in the Shastra becomes important. I am not following it because X, Y, Z has said. Whatever X, Y, Z has told me and I have decided to follow also has got support in the Shastra. These sadhanas which I am doing are talked about in the Vedas. So I will follow those. That is enough for me. All new sadhanas people invent, I don't need to follow that. That is what. But your understanding, the interplay, where what becomes predominant, where intellect becomes predominant and mind becomes predominant, your understanding is correct.
Okay. So another, it is not related to today's verse, but it is when I am now studying the Kaivalya Upanishad. In one verse, the Guru is giving pointers to Brahman. Different pointers are given. The same verse it is given. One is Aneka Rupam. And after a couple of words, it's a Arupam. Aneka Rupam means infinite forms. In the same words, it is a Arupam and Ekam. So if you take the words Aneka Rupam, Arupam and Ekam, can you probably I am not able to
Very simple.
fully grasp it.
You understand what is
Yeah.
Ekam,
Advitiyam.
Advitiyam. That is only one
Yeah.
is there, right?
Yeah.
So that
Ekam.
Ekam, whether it is Arupam or Eka Rupam or Aneka Rupam, it does not matter. Our understanding should be that it is Ekam. And everything that we experience, when we say Rupam, is what? We are referring to the name and forms.
Yeah.
Right? So that Ekam
Yeah.
manifests as Anekam from a point of view of Vyavahara, from the point of view of our experience of this world.
At
So
the
whenever
relative
you
level.
At the relative level. So whenever you look at Aneka Rupa, if you are understanding in your intellect, if you understand that what I am seeing and experiencing, even though it is Aneka Rupa, the reality of this is Ekam, which is Arupam, that will then make it full understanding of the apparent conflict between saying Aneka Rupam, Ekam and Arupam. So what is Ekam is actually Arupam, but it manifests as Aneka Rupam. And that is why Pujya Swamiji used to say, it is wrong to say there is only one God. The correct expression is wrong to say that there is only...
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
He says...
The
correct sentence should be, there is only God. So if you understand what it is meant by there is only God, everything that you are experiencing is nothing but the manifestation of that God, which is Ekam, only, which is Arupam, has no form of its own, but manifests with the help of Maya, all these forms, Anekam. That is how you have to understand this. And once you understand this very well, Sarvatmaka Bhavam, which Krishna will talk about again and again, that will settle in. Sarvatmaka. Because even though there is Anekam, there is only one Atma in all these things. That we will start understanding what does that mean. There is no difference between two things. This may be a flask and this may be a tumbler. There is only, so far as they are concerned, the difference that we
only glass
is only the name and form. The form is different, name is different, name is different. Essentially, both are, Sat Vastu only. They are pervaded by Sat, existence. So we must start seeing existence in the two instead of seeing that this is flask and this is. So from a spiritual point of view, I have no difference between the glass and the flask. From transactional point of view, they serve different purposes. But that is not what we are focusing on spirituality. We are focusing about the nature of everything, the essence of everything. That is what we are focusing. So if it is Anekam, the essence of Anekam is Ekam, which is Arupam. That is how we have to understand.
That is the substratum, is the all-pervading.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
That is the substratum.
Because if there is a Rupam, then it cannot be all-pervading.
Yeah, it will be limited. How can it be all-pervading?
Yeah, it will be limited. Yeah.
It can be all-pervasive only if it is Arupam. The
Yeah,
moment
okay.
you say Rupam, you are drawing the confines of that Rupam, becomes limited.
Yeah.
That is what it is. Yeah.
Good.
Any other question, Premaji?
How
Any
is
question? I am enjoying my life. In fact, it is very relaxing here in Canada. Of course, not that it was not relaxing there, but as I am getting better and better from the after effect of COVID, it is becoming, more and more relaxing now. That's it.
No, you look healthy and good.
Yeah. I am back to my original self. In between, my wife was saying that my daughter also saying when we landed, say, you are looking like a ghost. What happened to you? So, of course, those days probably, I was sick and I was traveling and all that was there. But now with all the good food that I'm getting from the family, and also the company that I'm having, I'm very happy.
How is your wife?
Oh, she's fine. They're all gone on a long drive to Windsor to meet somebody. I said, I've got my class, so I can't join you. It's a 4-hour drive from Toronto. So my son has taken up the children and my wife. So today, whole day, I'm going to be alone on my own, which will give me a lot of time to do a lot of my own work. So that's it. Very nice. Okay, so shall we close the session?
Well, Guruji, I wanted to tell you one thing. I am, your classmate, Dr. Jayakumar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am now attending his Kathopanishad.
Oh, very good. Good.
Yeah,
very nice.
Yeah, that is just started on 9th of June. He started.
Oh, okay, recently.
With Shankara Bhashya.
Okay. He's taking you through Bhashya.
You studied together, I suppose, no?
Yeah. Actually, he joined much later.
Yeah.
He came somewhere, I think, around 2015 end or something like that. I don't exactly remember. But he has been a disciple of Puja Swamiji much, for a long time.
For a long time.
Yeah, for a very long time.
Yeah.
So when he was moving to India, because he moved to India from the US to take care of his parents.
Yeah.
And he wanted to come and join. The Puja Swamiji said, no problem, you can join. So that is how we became classmates for at least about half of the course. Nice guy.
Yeah,
very helpful.
When he wanted the newcomers to introduce, then I had to introduce myself.
Yeah.
So I told him that I am attending your class.
Okay.
Then he said, it's very good that you people studied together.
Yeah.
In the
See, that is the beauty, when I need any help. In fact, he is very good at Sanskrit also. Many times in initial stages when I was teaching, I have actually called him and asked him the doubts and all that, which I was not clarify. And he is very helpful, rather immediately, he helps. So we have a very good relationship that way. And our friend Ramuji also is a common link. He is also close to Jayakumar as he is to me. Ramuji is also there. Yeah.
Ramu only put me in this class.
Okay.
Yeah.
That way, it's a very nice, good group of people.
Ramu very, very.
Yeah.
Akai, if you are interested, then I will give you the details. Kathopanishad. It is good.
Mr.
We
Jayakumar?
just started only.
Yeah, Jayakumar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
right,
if you are interested, then I can.
Okay.
Okay.
Done.
Okay, then. Shall I close the session? Thank you. See you all next Saturday.